Hey!
Let's go, Rockets!
Let's go! Let's go, Rockets!
Let's go!
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Mondays with Mark. Are you excited about tonight?
I am.
Let me see. You need to come this way a little bit. Okay.
Here we go.
So, hey, everybody! Welcome to Mondays with Mark. It's Mark and Colleen McMahon, Ed's daughter. And I wanted to tell you, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe and then ring that bell. And if you're watching on Facebook, like it, follow it, share it on Facebook. I hope it's on Facebook. It looks like it might be having trouble tonight. And it might be. But I'll be showing it. I'll be reposting it to Facebook. If I see there, it's not propagating to Facebook.
Oh.
Always technical stuff. Something's going on. It's starting, it says, but it's going to my personal Facebook page. Hey, everybody, it's on the Dinner Conversations Facebook page. We're live on the my personal Facebook page. We're live on Twitter, and we're live on YouTube. Thank y'all for tuning in. I want to tell you tonight the Rockets are playing.
Yes.
And you're excited about it.
I am.
Why?
Well, I'm what you call a fair weather fan. I follow them when they're in the playoffs. I'm not an avid sports fan, but, when the teams are in the playoffs, like the Astros, how we went crazy over the Astros winning the World Series.
So we'll be watching that. I guess we'll be watching that or American Idol. I don't know, one or the other. But anyway, also I wanted to tell you that I am addicted. Oh, Michael Booth will be. Don't go away, everybody who's tuning in to see Michael Booth. And I'm sorry we're having trouble with the Facebook stream to the public one, the big one, the one where everybody watches. But Michael Booth is going to be here a little bit. I taped the interview earlier today, and it was a good one. I like taping the interviews ahead of time so I can make sure I get what I want. And
that's good.
And that way you and I can just relax. And I have been busy.
You have been.
I have been gone.
You have been gone a long time, it seems
and I'm
like.
supposed to be off this year.
You've done a lot.
Yeah.
You've done a lot this year.
Well, I want to tell you, like my dad. All right, here's what happened. The 26th. Or the 25th, I flew from Houston to Lynchburg, and the day before my father's birthday, on the 25th, I flew up there to be at his party that night. He had a TIA stroke. It was a mini stroke, they call it. He had 2 spots on his head. He's 87. He turned 87 on the 25th. And so I flew up there. I thought, oh, no, well, it's good that I'm going to see what's going on. So I get up there, and he's fine.
Mm-hmm. I saw the pictures of him.
He showed up at his own birthday party.
Right, that's fabulous.
Straight from ICU.
That's fun.
He kicked the lid off that coffin and said, I am going to my 87th birthday party.
That's great.
He will not lay down. And then we celebrated that, and then I flew to Lynchburg. I'm sorry, from Lynchburg to Nashville. I've got it all here on my calendar because I can't remember what I've done. I flew, and we did a dinner conversations with Winona. Oh, let me show you a picture. Here's a picture of Winona and Cactus. Her husband, she sang a song, and she played those drums and sang, and he played the guitar. And of course, here's me and Winona. So, and that woman can sing. So that was fun. That was an interesting dinner conversation. Cactus is good for her. I've known Cactus, her husband, longer than I've known her.
Oh, really?
He played on my albums that Lynn Kiesecker produced back in the 80s in California. They were custom albums.
Mm-hmm.
And he came up to me and said, hey, how's Lynn Kiesecker doing? And it all came back to me that, back then. And then he ends up marrying Winona. And he The interview was interesting. She speaks in riddles and parables, and so I was so glad Andrew was there because it kept keep it. You know, he kind of knew what was happening. I was sitting there with a glazed look on my face. No, it was fun. And then the next night was the why I went to town, and so what I did, I bookended the Michael W. Smith 35th anniversary event with Winona and Charlie Daniels for dinner conversations. It was fun. But Michael W. Smith.
Tell us about that. Was that amazing?
Oh, that was. Well, first of all, remind me to get to Charlie.
Okay.
The Michael W. Smith event was fun. Everybody I've known in the world was there. In fact, let me play this for you. Where is it? Here it is. That's not it. Can you believe I had this all set up? Here it is. Mark goes to the theater. Have you seen my friend? Look, y'all, this is Jay DeMarcus. But let me tell you how he got started. I found him on the side of the road. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
With a "Will Work for Food" sign.
Yeah.
And I picked him up and I said,
Times
we
are
ought to
tough.
start east to west. Remember?
I do.
East to west.
I do.
And I found that other fellow.
Yeah, that didn't turn out well either.
No, it didn't. And then you went on to do
Devil's music.
Devil's music. Devil's music.
Let's bring our friend out, Michael W. Smith and his beautiful wife, Debbie. I'm honored to be here tonight. I'm humbled by the whole thing. I'm a little giddy, and I hope there's a box of Kleenex over there on the table.
Are you ready?
My hairline's moving. I am standing still. A chin like Leno's, nose big as a hill. A face that's perfect is always in my dreams. Hope they can fix mine without too many C's. That's why I'm looking for a surgeon who work overtime to find my face in this world. My face in this world. That's enough of that. Thank you, Michael. That's enough. I only have 2 minutes. Now listen. Michael W. Smith, thank you so much. I'm Mark Lowry. Thank y'all for letting me be here. And I'm so honored to be here. It's hard to believe, honest to God, this is not a joke. Michael and I were born the same year. While someone was carrying the gospel, somebody was getting facials. I love you, Michael. That was fun.
That is hilarious what you said.
I got YouTube, y'all. There's some commenters on YouTube. Hello, Pamela Freeson, Lily, David Lane, Marcia McMullen. I don't know 2000K, Deanna Roberts, Pam Shearer. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I'm sorry we're not on Facebook tonight, but I'll have to figure that out later. Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
That was.
And Shonda,
Really
before
funny.
I did my bit, Shonda had been out there and did a thing on
Depends.
Depends.
I heard it.
what she
That
won't
was
do.
hilarious.
It was hilarious. She talked about how there's some kind of new Depend that has
Lace
and flowers on it.
That was so funny.
Oh, Lord. And so then the next day I did meet Charlie Daniels. And here's a photo of me and Charlie Daniels with Andrew Greer in the middle. We did a dinner conversations with Charlie. Now, that man, I told him, I said, I was expecting some bad son of a gun, I mean, I think of Charlie Daniels, The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and Hank Williams Jr., kind of in the same mindset. But the guy is a Bible scholar. We sat and talked about Jesus and had the best time, and you're going to love that dinner conversation. That was a great one. You like him?
Charlie Daniels, yeah.
Yeah. I love that
Well,
song.
that song, Devil Went Down, who doesn't know that? You know, that's a...
Looking for a soul to steal. He was something else and doing something else. And then let's see what else. Then I went, then my sweet Courtney came to town. Courtney Lowry Tate, my niece, who now lives in Midlothian, Texas, right up the road. She's only 3 hours away. In fact, I think before it's over, my brother and his wife and all the other nieces and nephews that he has produced are coming down here.
Yeehaw!
Chad and I think Chris and Chad will be coming too, but you know, Courtney and her husband are already here.
Yeah.
Now they just need to make a baby.
Well, hopefully so.
Well, I hope, because I need something to throw up in there. Because you know, I like babies. But you got to watch out for ceiling fans when you throw them in there. I learned that. No, I didn't really. I did learn it. I do know. And then let's see what else happened. I was going to show you. I went scooter riding. The first Sunday of every month at 3 p.m. Some of them get there at 2, but we kick stands up at 3 p.m. And all the scooters, like the ones I have a Buddy Kick, a Vespa, those kind of things. It's not a big motorcycle, no motorcycles allowed, but about 15 of them, and they say sometimes 30 show up.
Wow.
So this was my first time, and I went, and I want to show you.
And you wore your helmet?
I wore my helmet.
Good.
Yes. Here we are! Wave! Oh, that's that. That was fun. And then, so if you live in Houston and you have a scooter, the first Sunday of every month, they meet at 11th and Yale. There's a bar there that has outdoor parking and outdoor seating and all, and it's at 11th and Yale in Houston. I mean, get you one. You'd love it. Oh, y'all, I am addicted to this show called United Shades of America. Dina told me about it, and we just started watching it the other night. And this W. Kamau Bell, it just opens your eyes to a lot of stuff going on that I had never seen, like the KKK. He went and visited. He's a black man, and he went and visited the KKK, and I mean, watched them light a cross and everything.
Wow.
And then another one was on all kinds of. It was really interesting.
What's that on? Is it Netflix or?
You know, I don't know. It's not on Netflix. I downloaded it off iTunes.
Oh, okay.
So it's on some network. And then today I ate at one of my favorite restaurants in Houston, y'all. If you ever come to Houston, check out Carrabba's. Here with Dina for lunch. This is the original one. Carrabba's. They have the best meatballs in Houston. Today we're going to split the lasagna. They're cooking away Carrabba's on Kirby in Houston. And this is what we got. 2 meatballs and we split the lasagna. And that was it. What was left? I was going to tell you, over at marklowry.com, before I bring on Michael Booth, which I'm very excited about, of the Booth Brothers, and below I have listed some songs. I found 3 of their songs, the Booth Brothers songs on YouTube. I put the links in the show notes below, and so you can go watch those after the interview. But today they released the latest dinner conversations on YouTube, which was a lot of fun. Now, this one was my idea. I met Will Graham, Billy Graham's grandson, when I played at the Cove. And we had a great conversation then, and so I said, we've got to recreate this for dinner conversations. Right now, you can go to YouTube and you can see the entire episode of Dinner Conversations with me, Will Graham, and Gigi Graham, Billy Graham's daughter that he's loved the longest, is what she calls herself. She's the oldest. Then you started telling me stories that I'm so glad you shared with me about your grandfather. and that he was as human as the rest of us, but he was a hypochondriac.
Let's just say he kept a Mayo Clinic in business. My grandmother and him were exact opposite in this. She never complained, and she really had a lot of pain. On her wall in her bedroom was a crown of Jerusalem thorns, because if her God could go through that, point to the crown, then she's got nothing to whine about.
And did Billy ever hear her say this?
Yeah, oh yeah, but he made up for it.
You think about someone who offered so much assurance to people still having what might be a rational fear.
Did he fear anything?
He knew where he was going. I think it was the process of dying.
I'll probably go down in a plane but survive that, then it'll catch on fire, then I'll survive that, then finally I'll be in a raft and I'll survive that and I'll drown.
Yeah, that's right.
You can help save thousands of lives by giving a generous gift to Food for the Hungry today.
Your gift will directly help Rohingya refugees who are currently living in dire, poverty-stricken refugee camp conditions in Bangladesh.
And get this, your gift will be matched 22 times for an exponential impact. Food for the Hungry is on the ground now, providing medical treatment to hundreds of thousands of these vulnerable children and their families.
This is the example that has been set for us by Jesus, that we would help our neighbors in their time of need. And this is what Food for the Hungry is doing to help relieve the refugee crisis in Bangladesh. So you can give today, partner with Dinner Conversations as we partner with Food for the Hungry.
Yes.
By giving generously at fh.org/dinner.
And don't forget, not only will your gift be matched 22 times, but for every dollar you donate, we will enter you into a drawing for our Season 2 Grand Prize Giveaway. And
what is the giveaway?
It's dinner with me and Andrew in Houston, Texas at my favorite restaurant.
And right after dinner, we're coming back to Mark's house to be a guest on Mondays with Mark live broadcast.
And your travel and accommodations are included. We also have a VIP package for everyone who gives $1,000 or more.
Which includes some signed CDs, DVDs, and books from Mark and me, and also a stack of books and music from some of our Season 2 guests, including Kathy Lee Gifford, Danny Goki, Amy Grant, and the most special part is a handwritten...
Oh yes! I'm gonna write your favorite line, whatever it is, from Mary Did You Know, and you'll get that one, like when she kissed her little baby, she kissed the face of God. That's probably my favorite. And then I'll autograph that and send that to you, and you can keep that, and then when I'm dead, it'll be worth $2 or $3.
So remember to give now, give generously at fh.org/dinner. Every dollar is an entry into our Season 2 Grand Prize giveaway.
Michael Booth will be here in just a minute, but isn't that exciting?
It is exciting.
We are having a drawing. First of all, for every dollar you donate to Food for the Hungry, it's matched 22 times, right? You've given $1, that means you've given $22. And you're entered into the drawing that we're going to do, and we're going to fly you to Houston and put you up in a hotel, and you're going to go out and eat with me and Andrew, and then we're coming here to put them on Mondays with Mark.
How fun.
You'll be sitting right there on that couch, or you'll be in a chair right here.
Oh, that'll be great.
Won't that be fun?
Yes, that's going to be fun.
I love it. I love Mondays. And I love that Facebook finally started working. Hello, Gene Despain, Randy Taylor Stoltz, Lisa's, Mark, if you love babies, you should get married and have a baby. It's a little late. 60. I'd be 78 when they got out of high school. No, thank you. Hey, I'm so excited to tell you that over at marklowry.com, which I've started to mention a minute ago, we have a special. You can get all 4 CDs. My What's Not to Love CD, my How We Love CD, Mark Lowry Be the Miracle, and Some Things Never Change. All 4 for $20 right now over at marklowry.com. And I hope you'll go over there and order that so Danny has something to do. Danny Phillips, who works for me, and is Q Phillips' wife. Well, here he is. Here's our conversation. The one, the only, the wonderful Mr. Michael Booth. Hello.
Hey.
Michael Booth, you're back.
Am I muted?
You are not muted. We are recording. I cannot believe. Welcome to Mondays with Mark.
Mondays. I should have done this a long time ago, and poor Danny has been trying to contact me to make this happen, and I've been the typical musician, you know.
Well, we're honored to have you. Thank you, Michael. You know, years ago, when I did my Hollywood DVD, there was talk about having the Booth brothers on there. And,
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, that was way back in the day.
I didn't know we were on anybody's radar.
Oh yeah, and the Isaacs ended up doing it, and of course, they're incredible. You know, that would be a good tour. Have you ever toured with the Isaacs, just the two of y'all?
But that would be great. Woo!
Wouldn't that be a good tour? Anyway, so I have watched from the bleacher seats your fabulous career. I mean, it's really been fun to watch. And you've been together, the Booth brothers, you tell me, have been together 30 years?
Yeah. We started Easter Sunday morning, 1989. Well,
when you were 10?
Yeah. I was 17, right out of high school. And I say we started. Let me try to make a large point as small as I can. Dad sang gospel music for many years back in the quartet days. J.D. Sumner and the Stamps. He wasn't there long, but a little bit. Rebels Quartet and others, Tony Brothers. And he got out of it for a while. Well, we were at the home church, and we just sang for that morning. That was the first time Dad, Ronnie, and I sang behind the pulpit with the piano. It was fundamental independent King James only, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know.
I know.
So we just did what was proper for that moment. And it was fun. And that's when, a little bit after that, I said, Dad, why don't we start a group? Because I thought, how hard could it be?
Right.
Right. And I still, to this day, Mark, I can see his eyes rolling in his head. And I remember thinking, what? What's the big deal? We just sing and call a church and go sing.
Right.
And so we sang a few times at our home church, and then we were invited to another one, and it just kind of grew. But I'll tell you this, Ronnie and I did not want to be a full-time group. We didn't want to go on the road full-time. We heard too many stories from Dad of how hard it was.
Right.
And he had some great highlights in his career, but he had some tough times.
What group was he with?
For the most part, it was a Rebels Quartet out of Tampa, Florida.
Okay. And he sang baritone?
He was a tenor.
Oh, the tenor.
Incredible tenor. Wow. Incredible tenor. Yeah. So we just kept singing locally, and I don't know, one thing led to another, and a guy named Eddie Crook with a record label saw us after a guy named Charlie Waller brought us to an event and offered us a record deal, and we said okay. And a little while later, a fellow by the name of Bill Gaither said, hey kids. Yeah, it was right when you left.
Oh, really?
We came on the tour right when Russ just started after filling in your spot there. So we didn't get to be around you near as much as all the other gangs.
Well, it felt like I was around you a lot. No, I'm kidding. No, I loved every time I was around you. It was a blast. You and I have had. Everybody thinks of us as we're the clowns of our groups. Yeah. Right. But you and I have had some incredible discussions about grace, because you've kind of gone through a grace process too.
Well, grace, you can't feel the boundaries. You know, you can't feel the walls and the lines like you can in legalism. Now, being raised in the fundamental independent Baptist church, in large part, there was a lot of that. However, I look back at my personal pastor, LeDoux Strawn, and I asked him this a couple years ago. I said, why was so much of, and I'm not trying to be too critical, but there seemed to be so much legalism and don't from the evangelists that would come in and other preachers in that denomination. But I always knew he loved me.
Right.
And through his preaching, I always knew Jesus loved me. And so there was, thank God for him, But
Absolutely.
but it took some years to figure out how this grace works and how you can enjoy it and realize that God not only loves you, but as you've said, He likes you. He enjoys you.
Well,
So,
it's interesting because I felt the same way about my pastor, Harold Clayton.
mm,
But they did let some pretty toxic people come in at times, just because that's all we knew.
that's all we knew. Yeah,
But I tell you one thing, I am grateful for my heritage.
I wouldn't trade it.
I wouldn't trade it for anything because number one, they made us memorize scripture, which I love doing, and then they got his name right. If they did nothing else but get his name right,
Yeah,
I'll be forever grateful
yeah,
because, he and I took it from there.
yeah. But I will say, as you, I'm totally grateful.
Yes.
Even for the hard stuff I heard. Now it makes sense. I
How?
did. You always do this. Folks. This is the part of talking with Mark Lowry that causes you to say in words things you've only thought in your head.
Well,
Because
come
he
on.
does.
It's
Yeah.
nobody watches this. This ain't
I know.
NBC.
I love it. This is good about you. If there's a don't. Now I understand the grace of God knowing before time began I was going to do the don't do that. Yet He still allowed me to live, and yet He still made a plan to pay for that thing I should not have done, which makes me quicker to say, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I want to go back home. But see, when you feel like your life is full of don'ts and you keep shaming Him and letting Him down, you can give up. You can give up and feel like you're not welcome to go back home. So understanding grace the way I do now makes repentance faster.
Because you're going to be welcome when you come back home.
And all repentance sounds like such a harsh word. It's just changing your mind.
Right.
It's just, okay, I'm thinking this way. This way is not right. I'm going to go back home.
And usually, true repentance, shame is not really involved. I know the time that I have repented where it's like dawns on me. Oh my gosh, this is wrong. Why would I want to continue in this thinking or this doing? It's like boom. And I never have felt condemned or shamed in the presence of the Lord. I've felt condemned and shamed in the presence of His people, but they really don't matter. He's the only one who matters. And when He has convicted me, it is such a release, really.
Yeah.
But because it's never shameful. But I think Mama also, what you were saying made me think of Mama when she'd say, we need a lot of rules because you're going to break some. And I'd rather you break ones that don't really matter, so I'll give you a lot of rules.
Yeah. Well, I broke some.
Yeah. So where do you see? You're slowing down. You're not in any way retiring. You've gone from 150 concerts a year to 75, which is more reasonable with families. Of course, yours are all grown, aren't they?
23, 19, and almost 12.
Oh,
yeah.
so you got one still living at home.
Yeah.
You got 6 more years. You can kick them to the curb. But
That's right.
anyway,
Either that or they can help pay for this house.
yeah, really. So, what's the future for you guys? Slow down, keep doing it, come up with new. Are you enjoying it still?
I am enjoying it more since we slowed down. I nor Ronnie do very well with minutia when it's constant go, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It really suppresses our creativity. We can get very lethargic. So when you have time,
and you can't hear the music anymore.
No.
When you quit hearing the music, when the songs don't move you, that's a sign to slow down.
Yeah, and that gets into a tricky spot where people, if they don't understand what we do, it's confusing for them, because my point is, when you're worn out and tired, you still have the gifts to do your job well. I mean, you can still put it on and crank the crowd and do all the emotions. You can do everything, and you can be completely empty yourself. but it's that gift and ability God's given you, and you use it. I used to feel bad about that until I realized, no, what I'm saying is true, whether I feel it or not.
Absolutely.
And these people still need to hear it. I just got to go deal with me and get to a better place.
Well, here's the deal, and remember this. I'm sure people who watch Mondays with Mark have heard me say this a million times, but when the plane is out of gas, it's coming down.
Yeah.
Now, you can land it or you can crash it, but either way, it's coming down. And when you are out of gas, you got to land it. Here's the deal: when you have an affair and a divorce, you've crashed the plane and people run like rats off a ship. But if you land the plane, say, I'm taking some time off, I'm taking a year off, which I did. I mean, you'll get a lot of pressure from good, wonderful people that I'm thankful they still want me to come.
Yeah, right.
But you've got to say no. And it's so hard when you've spent your life saying yes.
Yes.
You know, how we have done.
Ronnie and I have talked so much. It seems like everybody loves you till you say no, and you just encapsulated that beautifully. When I moved from Florida to Nashville, 15 years ago, my pastor, Gene Sorensen at the time, preached a message just for Vicki and I. And of all the stuff he said, what I remember the most was this. He said, let me tell you something. When you're in the corner in a fetal position, sucking your thumb when depression and anxiety, he said, that's when people are going to run to you and go, hey, whatever it takes, be careful, take care of yourself. But so you have to watch for yourself that you don't get yourself into a position where you fall into the corner of the room. And I don't think I was far from it.
Really?
No.
When y'all decided to slow down?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so what were these symptoms? Just
a lot of anxiety, tremendous anxiety of how to meet the expectations that people have.
Yeah.
Because I have this theory that in the audience, here's what we did. When they walk away in their mind, it goes to, this is what they did. Yeah. And when they come back, they want this.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that's true or not, that's how I feel. Yeah. And I feel like I have to meet those expectations the next time I show up in that town.
I know. I totally get it. That's the reason why I told, because I am going to do some concerts, some things next year, because I'm not quitting. I can't do that. But I said, I told my booking agent, Ed Harper, I said, listen, we're going to call it the SOS Tour, the same old stuff.
Okay.
Because I might have some new stories and I might not. I won't have any new songs because I ain't going to make another record unless I feel like it. And if they want the same old stuff, I'll be happy to come. That takes the pressure off. That way, when I hit the stage, it's fresh to me, it's fresh to them, and if their expectations are too high, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I warned you.
Yeah, I love that. And they're going to like it. And you know what? I wish I could turn this around, because I can look at you and go, oh, they're going to love that. There's going to be no problem. And the reality is, if we show up and do our thing the way we're supposed to do it, it's going to be okay. But there's something inside of me that pushes for, I don't know where this intensity or anxiety comes from, but it's there, and I have to deal with it.
Is it perfection? Are you trying to be perfect?
Yeah, but I know I'm not. But am I stuttering? I hear myself stuttering.
No, you know what's happening? It's got a little bit of a delay on your voice, on your mouth. It's like your mouth isn't with your. But I still understand everything you're saying.
That's fine.
No. Are you asking? No, you're not stuttering at all. You're making perfect sense.
I was with Bill Gaither for breakfast. So I didn't know if it.
Oh, were you really?
No, it was back in December, but it's still
okay. It has a lasting effect.
Yeah.
But you're doing something about it.
You can't meet that.
Say that again.
I said perfection. You can't meet, but you shoot for that.
Right.
You shoot for it.
Yeah. Well, of course, but don't the pressure of that. Oh my gosh, I just don't. Nobody can meet that. Only Jesus was perfect. Now He did say, "Be ye perfect as I am perfect," but I haven't. I don't know what He meant, because I have not attained that at all, anywhere near it, and I don't even think about it. I think grace covers the stuff we don't get. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a friend that explained to me one time, he said, if your heart is just bent towards Christ, he continues to draw and cover you in grace as you lean into him over time.
Yes.
But so we look at it as such a hard, rigid, step for step thing, but it's really a heart that's leaning towards him, and Jesus can do a lot with that.
And when you walk out on that stage, I want to tell you something I heard Amy Grant say the other day on a podcast that I was listening to. Ellie Holcomb, who opened for Amy on her tour, on the opening night there was a Q&A. You know how they'll do a Q&A before a concert. So there's probably 150 people there, and Amy opened it. Oh, see, how did this get set up? Basically, someone asked the question, do you ever feel inadequate or something like that? She said, oh, we all have those voices in our head. She said, like, I'll hear your voice isn't, oh, sorry. Your voice isn't as good as, that's my phone, sorry. Your voice isn't, she said, I'll hear your voice isn't as good as it used to be. Or I'll hear, you're getting older, all those things that women in their 50s hear, and artists especially are. So she says she does this. She bows her head and says, I surrender that, and I am loved. In other words, surrender the anxiety. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's a great idea. And I've done it actually. Whenever I feel inadequate or I hear one of those voices, I just say, Lord, I surrender that to you, and I know I am loved. And man, it goes away.
I like that.
Try that right before you got on stage and you feel like you see, another thing is, do you go back too often? See, I'd only go back every 18 months to 2 years. So hopefully I will have broken another leg by then.
Yeah. You'll do
because all my
for
best
sure.
Stories come from tragedy.
I know. Now we do, I'd say 80% of what we do is annual. And that makes it tough because I want to give, people are making an effort. And the older I get, the more I realize, and I'd say this, I didn't realize the sacrifice people made by just getting in the car and going, because it's so much easier to stay home. When you think about they got to go through traffic, they got to pay the money, they got to eat the food, and then sit through a concert of how long, and then drive all the way back. For them to sit in their house and go, yeah, I'll do that. Man, that's becoming, that's a lot. That's a lot for them to do. Every one
you
of
just
them.
got to not think about that.
Yeah, I know. It's hard because I don't want to disappoint them. I want to give them everything.
But you know what? You are going to disappoint them if you walk out there thinking, what other plate do I need to spin to hold their attention?
Oh my gosh, you just nailed what I'd say this to the guys. I said, man, I feel like I'm just spinning plates up there, you know, and yeah. And
no, you got to lay that down.
Yeah.
I mean, but, you know, and be you. Get out there and be Michael Booth. You are enough. You're actually more than enough.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no one who doesn't love you. All right. I mean, I've never heard one negative thing about you in this industry. You are a good tenor. You're on pitch. You're on time. You show up. You do your job. And that's all that is required of you. Right? You love your wife.
I do.
You love your family.
I want her to come on. Oh,
you know, try to be as easy on yourself as you are other people.
That's a big thought right there.
I love
to extend grace to people. I just have a hard time doing it myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, if you don't get that, it's hard to like yourself. Of course, I'm still learning it too, but I'm about 20 years ahead of you down the road. And I'm learning it too, but boy, I'm really liking me these days.
Yeah, that's good. It's peaceful, I'm sure.
It is. I love you.
You too, Mark. I'm glad people finally got to see one of our, because this is usually about the way it goes when you and I talk.
Well, I'm glad you let me talk to you like this in front of the 30 or 40 people that will watch this.
Yeah. Well, most people don't know I'm famous anyway. So.
Oh, they love you. Everybody loves you, Michael Booth. I forgot to put your. I hear I did a thing for under your name, and we've gone the whole time, and I forgot to turn it on. This is Michael Booth, everybody, with the Booth Brothers. All the information is below. You can go and check out their website. Go to YouTube. I don't post any videos anymore because then you get tagged and you got to pay royalties and blah, blah, blah. I post all the links below. So below you will find links to the Booth Brothers, some of their songs. If I'm going to go look some up and put them down there. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for carrying the gospel so well. And with a lot. I love that guy. That's the end of that. Isn't he a great man?
That's sweet.
You're not familiar with them?
No, not
Booth
really.
Brothers?
No.
We got to get you educated in Southern gospel music.
Well,
You've been over there teaching fourth graders. Mm-hmm. And how are they?
Good. They're good.
You have anything you want to say to them? You know they watch. Some of them watch. Scoot over this
Well,
direction.
I want to say that this is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Oh, we appreciate teachers.
Yes, we have to appreciate teachers.
And we ought to pray they get raises. Mm-hmm. Because they're underpaid and underappreciated.
That's right.
I love our teachers. Thank God there's a teacher who taught me how to cursive right. Mm-hmm. They're bringing that back.
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard that.
And next week, y'all, my guest will be Jim Bumgardner. You've never heard of him either, have you?
Mm-mm.
He's a songwriter with an incredible story that you won't want to miss. So I will see you next Monday night. Colleen will be here, Lord willing. Mm-hmm. And we will see you next Monday night, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hold on, everybody. We're going to try to say bye now. Why did this work? Sometimes I'm going to get this. Hold on. Good night. This is like the devil. It was going so well. Forget it. Good night, everybody.